What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 3 of training camp, and as you can hear, there's things happening everywhere right now around Lambeau Field. Quite difficult to find a little pocket like I did last year. It's just nice and calm. There's construction everywhere, all over this place. But day 3 of training camp, so we're here to talk about what exactly happened for the Green Bay Packers here for day 3. And I got to tell you, like yesterday, the theme of the day very much was the pass rush. Right? I mean, it was constantly getting after Clifford. We saw day 1, too. Then yesterday with the rain, it was worse. Today, it's like the secondary found their footing. Still waiting on the offense to do it. Today was all about Eric Stokes, different members of the secondary, just going off against the bevy of backup quarterbacks now the Green Bay Packers continue to trot out. So we're going to get to all of it. We're going to discuss just how big of a day it was for the secondary, what some of the stats were, what the kicking was of the day. But first, let's go to the injury report. So today, Elgton Jenkins did not practice, not injury related. He was just given a bed rest day. For some reason, on day 3 of camp. Now, LaFleur did not exactly expound this morning on why that was going to occur. Maybe it's just because they wanted to get a look at Sean Rhyan and Jordan Morgan today, because today Ryan did left guard, Morgan did right guard. Maybe they just wanted to get a look at both on the same day. Gave Elgton Jenkins, who's fairly secure, gave him the day off. Regardless, vet rest day for him. But then, of course, we have our other consistent injuries: Kraft, Oladapo, Lloyd, Ballantyne, Caleb Jones, Jennings, and then, of course, Love still doing his hold-in. And then limited in his return today was Jaden Reed. Did some stuff, predominantly positional type stuff, but Jaden Reed is back, returning to the practice field today. Zach Tom as well. LaFleur said earlier this morning that there's not exactly a definite timeline when Tom may be doing 11-on-11s team type work. Right now he's just doing the positional drills, but I got to tell you, in the position drills, this is not a man who's pulling his punches. This is not a man who's only doing his reps and then sitting out. No, he's holding the bag for other guys. Zach Tom, very, very involved. It seems an awful lot, at least from that it looks like this is a dude who's pretty well close to ready to getting back into the fold for actual team activities. Then the starting lineup. Who actually was the first string that was out there today? Clifford, again, the number 1 quarterback. Jacobs at running back. The wide receivers, not Dobbs today. Instead, it was Wicks, Reed, and Watson, the first wide receivers out. Tight end, Musgrave. The offensive line, the ones today, was Walker at left tackle, Ryan left guard, Myers center, Morgan right guard, and then officially, they had Zach Tom stand in at first, and then they pulled Zach Tom right away. And they put out, rather than Andre Dillard after his very, very rough day yesterday, they put out Kadeem Telford. Yeah, Kadeem Telford getting the snaps with the ones for actual team activities. Andre Dillard then was at left tackle with the 2s. So just an interesting little change up there. Keep in mind, Telford, too, there are other depth tackle options. Luke Tenuta still around. You got Travis Glover, the rookie. And then you've also got Caleb Jones still on the PUP list, hoping he can come back in here soon and really kind of get his footing on the roster as well. Guys that were very, very quickly in after the ones, though, you're looking at Anthony Johnson Jr. on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, I've got to read defensive starters. Evan Williams came in real quick. Cooper as well. A.J. Dillon also. Got to tell you, if you're still on the fence about Dillon making the team, I don't know what to tell you, because there's some other things I'm going to read off today too. But A.J. Dillon came in very, very quickly after Jacobs with the ones. So let's see what people got to say here. Peter, bonjour, my friend Peter. You look like a true head coach with the trucker crap in these sunglasses. You're not going to lie, especially with the not quite salt and pepper, but I got a little flares right in the beard. Yeah, no, I feel it, man. I feel it looking that way. Captain Kevin's saying, so yeah, Jordan is resetting the mark. I doubt they waste another day with this QB situation right now. Jordan getting unfathomably paid tomorrow. It was another rough day for Sean Clifford. Yes, indeed it was. And to be frank, like the new guy, Jacob Eason, didn't look a ton better. Michael Pratt didn't look a ton better. All 3 quarterbacks right now are just struggling. Are there momentary glimpses of a functional offense? Yeah, today more than yesterday. Yeah. Still few and far between. Still feels like when you're looking across the practice field, looking at everything, when they complete something for 3 yards, it's like, yeah, they did it. It's something. Because it's still pretty few and far between. But yeah, Jordan gonna get paid. I can't tell you too, on a personal level for Jordan, Veronica Stone, his fiance, she was here today. Saw her. So, maybe that's a sign of things to come. So then let's talk starting defense. I've got to read that one off. So starting defense today with the ones was Rashawn Gary, TJ Slayton holding on to his number one spot as of now, Kenny Clark, Preston Smith. At linebacker, Quay Walker, Isaiah McDuffie. Not entirely unexpected. Cooper did come in very quickly thereafter. The secondary, Eric Stokes, Keyshawn Nixon, Jerry Alexander, and then Javon Bullard getting the ones again today, as well as Xavier McKinney. I got to say, Eric Stokes, he is my player of the day. Eric Stokes had a very, very strong day in coverage. And if you want to make the quip about like, well, yeah, it's Sean Clifford. Yeah, I know. But still, Eric Stokes was able to capitalize on his opportunity. It feels like after at least 3 days, yes, it's early, yes, pads aren't on, whatever. But after 3 days, it feels an awful lot like they're looking at Eric Stokes as cornerback 2. And then they'll figure out the rest after that with where Rick Carrington Valentine goes. But just the way that they're lining up, the way that they're using Stokes, the fact that Valentine is not often rotating in with the ones, it really seems like it's Stokes' job to lose, at least as of right now. Now, I know you all been waiting for this. The kicking update. Yeah, James Turner was the kicker of the day. Yesterday it was Joseph and Anders kind of switching off reps. Today, all James Turner. He got another 6 chances today, wound up going 4 for 6 on the day. His 2 misses were from, I believe it was about 42 yards. He missed wide right on that. And then from 39, he missed wide left. Beyond that, he did also have 4 kicks from the mid-40s. Ultimately, though, to this juncture, Turner, 8 of 12 thus far on his 2 days kicking. Gotta say, it looks like, in spite of Turner getting these chances pretty repeatedly, it seems an awful lot like he's kicker 3 on the depth chart. Let's check in here. Kevin Campbell saying also maybe they should try Morgan and tackle. Wow, that's a concept since they want him on the right side. Then are they just going to have to ignore practice acts because, Jesus, the reports sound horrifying. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Like, keep in mind a couple things, like I talked about yesterday, right? Pads aren't even on yet. And playing offensive line without pads, like, because you're supposed to grab onto the pads, right? You got to have something to grip. Imagine blocking Rashawn Gary when there's literally nothing to grip, especially because he rolls up his jersey. Like, that's a very tall order. Is the offensive line poor right now? 1,000%, yes. They also have an incredibly difficult job right now. And I will say, Sean Clifford is not making it that much easier on them because it's hard to tell. It's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing because sometimes he takes the snap and it's like he's seeing ghosts. He just takes off and runs before the pressure's even there. But then other times he does takes the snap and, oh yeah, he cooked right before he even gets to his drop back. So it's a very chicken and egg thing right now. Also, with it being day 3 of training camp, pads not on yet. It's so early. If they believe that Jordan Morgan has a chance to start at right guard in the regular season once Zach Tom is back, etc., then you want Jordan Morgan predominantly focusing on that spot right now. Who cares if you're getting sacked in training camp if the rookie is going to be your starting right guard in week 1? That's what they're working towards. That's their aim right now. So keep putting them there and you just deal with the consequences of having depth tackles out there right now. Stephen Smith saying can understand the defense winning the day. Pads will bring some difference. Yes, exactly. Depth still concerns me, though, on the line. Understandably so, right? Andre Dillard has not exactly been a veteran reinforcement to this juncture. It's been rough. I will say, though, at least for what it's worth, Kadeem Delford did have at least one very, very strong rep against Rashawn Gary. There was one rep where it looked like Gary was going full out, and he went nowhere against Telford, which, given how things have gone, did feel quite notable because there's been very, very rare snaps that Rashawn Gary's on the field that he doesn't at least get a pressure. And Telford stood him up at least one time that I saw. So, yeah, maybe they got a little something there in Telford, we always talk about Caleb Jones being a gigantic man. So is Telford in a slightly different way, a little bit leaner, but like, dude's still big human. All right, so now, like I was saying, the secondary ruled the day. There was a streak there where Clifford was with the ones on the right side of the field. Pratt and Eason were with the 2s over on the left side of the field. And it just felt for a while like, ooh, let's look at the right side. Oh, interception thrown by Clifford. All right, let's check in over here. Oh, interception thrown by Pratt. All right, we'll have Eason. Holy crap, a pick thrown by Eason. Okay. And that's what it felt like. It was like ricocheting interceptions going back and forth between the two sides. It was so constant. On the day, though, it ended with Eric Stokes getting 2. Evan Williams getting 1. Anthony Johnson Jr. getting 1. Benny Sapp getting 1. And then near interceptions also happened, like they were past breakups, they were bobbled, they dropped interceptions. One nearly happened for Valentine, one nearly happened for Jair, and Stokes nearly had another one. That's what I mean. It was so constant once we got to teams. It was pick, 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 pick. So it was exciting to watch, at least from the defensive side of the ball. Then just a general note here, too, because I do get some questions on about the kickoff returns, what that's going to look like. Well, today, for the first time, they actually tried it. Granted, no tackling, no pads, like I said. But still, nonetheless, like they actually tried like the simulation, walking through what the kickoffs are going to look like. And I got to tell you, this is a different experience. To watch none of the like defenders actually start running until the ball is caught by the returner. It sounds simple, but it was pretty jarring to watch. It really does have a different feel. And then so they actually trotted out there at kick returner. Toure got some reps at returner. Emmanuel Wilson got some. Keyshawn Nixon, of course. And then Jaden Reed got some. So they used kind of a collection of different guys back there for kick returner. I will mention, though, in case you were wondering. Oh, yeah, and Josh Jacobs was back there, but kind of felt like a break glass in case of emergency type deal. Got to say, though, I mentioned A.J. Dillon earlier about how he seems like he's getting more and more secure. Granted, Lloyd did not practice today, but Jacobs, like in teamwork, Jacobs basically does a carry, and then Dillon comes in and does most of them. On special teams, when Keyshawn Nixon does his kick return reps, guess who his protector is? It's A.J. Dillon. It just feels like Dillon is filling this vital role now on both teams and offense. It seems to be pretty promising for him. Then let's see. Campbell's saying, I get it, boss. I just ain't trusting the defense until we 5 the season games in. Struggling offense too early to matter. Yes, to me, it's just a little eye-opening. Just me, though, I'm a glutton for weight. I don't think it's not nothing. It's kind of important to understand the whole framing around it of like it's so early, and the offense always sucks to start. And Love's not there. And the offensive line can't really block, right? But still, like I'm not looking to undersell either. I just trying to find the right line because I see a lot of people running with the defense being so commanding right now. But it is shocking just how stagnant the offense is down in and down out. No doubt about it. It's just we do have to keep in mind the proper framing about like, they're getting some help right now, and there is some key reasons as to why. Still, though, having 5 interceptions on the day with a bevy more almost picks. I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care who the line is. I don't care if you got pads on. That's a good day for a secondary. Chad, what's up, man? Who's been more impressive in your opinion, Bullard or Williams? How does McKinney look? So McKinney hasn't really done anything super notable as of yet. Haven't really seen him make any highlight style plays. I will say too, today was the first day that they really did teamwork that didn't have like multiple teams going on at the same time. Thus far, it's been a lot of like one's over here, two's over here, just body parts flying everywhere, right? But today was the first time, and this is what they generally do for like red zone intensive work or even 2-minute drills. The entire 90-man team just crowds around one squad and does it. Today was the first time they did anything like that, and they only did it for 4 downs. So for some of these star players, they're not going to start really making plays until we're doing more of that kind of thing with more regularity. So McKinney hasn't really done a lot to this point. In terms of who looks more impressive versus Bullard or Williams, they both have been impressive in different ways. Williams has been coming down with the ball, no doubt about it. He also has found himself in some rather advantageous positions. Because like today, that interception was an absolute freaking rainbow ball from Clifford that sailed over Dontavian Wicks just right into the midst of your favorite liquor safety. So like it wasn't, yes, he got the pick. Yes, he did his job. It also wasn't this highlight reel, like amazing catch that Williams made. Bullard, I got to say, his footwork is impressive. Like watching him just mirror routes, the speed at which that he moves his feet is so much faster than some of the other ones. It's really impressive. I will say today, like we also saw him get involved in some of the run defense stuff too, a little bit more often than we've seen. So that was good to see, just nothing real marked there. But what I'm really coming away with Bullard thus far, those feet, man, they are fast. Kebbles, how are corners able to practice given no pads in early? Is it just like no contact shadowing players? Kind of, yeah. I mean, like in their position drills, it is just like a lot of run with another corner, or run with the receiver, see if you can mirror, right? Then when they go to team stuff, it's just take away the grabbing part, but their coverage is still full on. That's probably actually one of the positions on the team that's able to do more of a job without pads on than other places like the trenches. Corner is still mostly the same job, just you got less to tug on. Stephen, are you cold jacket or preparing to get wet? No, actually, today's been a bit of a cloudy day. Not cold anymore. This morning it was a tidbit chilly, but man, I hope the sky doesn't open again. We're in trouble if it does. Steve, what's up? Hello, Steve. So just to catch up on some follower requests, what I've been asked to look for. Kalen King. I kept an eye on him. I tried to keep an eye on Kalen King. He just didn't do a lot again today. It was interesting watching him do mirroring, though. I'm going to say like slightly above average in the mirroring department. He really did run with his guy well, but it wasn't like, oh, wow, like it was for Javon Bullard. Leadership. Here's a really interesting note. Very just interesting to watch. There has been so much chirping from Rashawn Gary especially, but really overall the D-line to the O-line. It's been a lot, and frankly, deserved because they are crushing it. But then the practice got done, and the team did its whole big huddle. The offense had to do their up-downs, except for Zach Tom, who does half-hearted sit-ups. But then after that, everything broke apart. You had some punt returners go over here. You had the corners go run over here. But the defensive ends got together. Just the ends, not the tackles. The defensive ends all got together. And Rich Bisaccia was in the middle of them. And Rich Bisaccia was giving some kind of spiel. Like, I mean, it was a full-on speech. And Matt LaFleur was in the background, just watching, right? And I don't want to say it looked like they were getting scolded, but this was definitely a conversation going on. And then all of a sudden, Bisaccia left, and LaFleur left. And all that was left was just the DNs, and Rashawn Gary took over. And it just gave the look of like this scolding conversation. So two things here. One, I don't know why, unless it's about the chirping just getting a little bit too far, in which case, like, Rashawn, you're the one who's doing it. Two, you want to talk about leadership, because I've been asked to check on who's leader. Rashawn Gary is absolutely unequivocally the most vocal leader on the defense. Certainly one of the leaders of the team, no doubt about it. Other things to check on, Jordan Morgan, right guard today. Again, O-line play, tough to assess without pads. Ultimately, looks like he's doing fine. Yeah. And then, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, cornerback too. Stokes looks in the lead there. All right, here we go. Steve saying John looks like a head coach. Somebody said that earlier too. I don't mind it. That's for sure. Chad saying it seems from reports that McDuffie is balling out. Would that be your opinion as well? I don't know as if I'd throw him in the balling out category, but he's made his fair share of splashes, is what I would say. There has been a number of plays today. Also, shout out to Keyshawn Nixon, because while the Packers aren't doing a ton of run plays right now, they're definitely doing more pass plays offensively. When they have done run plays, McDuffie stopped a few, no doubt. In fact, there was one halfback toss today. I think it was a toss out to Dylan that McDuffie, it was Jacobs, I'm sorry. It was a toss out to Josh Jacobs that McDuffie stopped on his own. So that was really, really good to see. But also Keyshawn Nixon deserves that shout out at times. I've been very critical of Keyshawn Nixon for not being aggressive enough in the run game. Today, that began to change. That really did look different. Keyshawn was stepping up into the slot more. Also, interesting note about the slot. Right now, outside corners and slot corners, when they go to positional drills, they're like lining up differently. In the past, it's always been just all the corners together. Now, slot corners go do one thing, boundary corners go do another. And if they do all join together, the slots stay together. The only two guys who are in that little slot grouping, though, Keyshawn Nixon and Kalen King. That's it. Everyone else is being treated completely as a boundary corner right now. Captain Kebbles, when do half pads come on next week? Don't know for certain. I haven't heard it confirmed from LaFleur yet. I did talk with some of the guest services folks, though, about when we can expect that. And it sounds like it's either going to be Friday, will be some, or for sure beginning of next week. So we'll see how it goes. Steve saying McDuffie is the total package. He's going to be a starting linebacker on this team. There's very little doubt about that. Jarrell Lee, what's up, Jarrell? How is LVN? Good. That was overly simplistic. But it seems like there's one play a day that LVN breaks through the line and either gets a severe pressure or a would-be sack. It's not happening at the frequency of Rashawn Gary, where it's like, holy crap, that's every play. But there's at least one a day that LVN is getting in and wreaking havoc on the offensive line. Other than that, he has done some good work in run sets, although without tackling. Take it for what it's worth. Beyond that, though, I mean, yeah, it's really that one play a day that's eye-catching for LVN. Chad saying, thanks so much for the report, Chad. Of course, Chad, that's why I'm here. Eric, what's up, Eric? Hope Stokes stays healthy. It would be nice, right? I want to go past the interceptions for Eric Stokes, too, because I really do want to say, like, Stokes had a very good day. I do think there was one play, probably a deep ball to Watson, where it would have been called pass interference in a real game. But beyond that, Stokes had 2 picks. He had a pass breakup. He was mirroring Watson on go routes quite a few times. And I know Stokes is known for his speed, but keeping up with Watson on a go route, that ain't no small task. And he was doing it with regularity. I don't really have concerns anymore about the speed of Stokes coming back post-injury. Now, like you mentioned, Eric, it's about staying healthy and making sure that injury doesn't come back, right? But still, ultimately, really good stuff from Eric Stokes today. Kevin Kebbles, I'm personally loving this cornerback 2 battle. Need more good corners for this scheme to work. Yeah, any man scheme, right? You need depth at corner. And you've got Jair as your 1. Sure, you got Nixon in the slot. I don't think they can really go wrong with Stokes or Valentine at corner 2. Right now, it just looks like Stokes is ahead. That's the way that they're using him. But Valentine, he was my player of the day 1. Valentine has had multiple pass breakups every day. Had another one today. So ultimately, it's like they really can't go wrong with either corner 2 at this juncture. And that should be very reassuring. But like you mentioned, Hafley's defense is going to test corner depth. So we'll see. Steve, I take it as this defense really likes Hafley and this whole new defense. You can see the energy is there for sure. And the more you hear them talk about the defense, the more that you hear players discussing how Hafley is making it so simple for them. I saw someone today mention how, like, I think this was just a Twitter personality, but they talked about how under Barry, it seemed like we're going to let you go until you make a mistake. Whereas under Hafley, it's like we're going to press you into a mistake and see how you react. And that's so perfect because Hafley's defense is going to create more big plays for the defense. It's also going to allow more big plays. And that's something we all have to grow kind of comfortable with because it's not going to look the same. Hopefully, ultimately better, though. Chad Hank, what's up? Kind of crazy to hear about Stokes intercepting passes. Never seen that before, right? Yeah, all of a sudden, the man's got hands. It's nice to see. Eric, how has King looked? I talked about King a little bit earlier. Ultimately, like in coverage, kind of nondescript. He is the other slot, though, with Keyshawn Nixon very definitively. Like when they split off for slot stuff, it's King and Nixon that go together. But the thing with King is, like, you see the movement skills are probably a little bit above average, but not necessarily eye-popping like when Javon Bullard does a drill. So just like I did yesterday, I kind of want to read you off. This is just a stream of plays, okay? Now, I couldn't catch every single rep for everybody, right? But before I go, I do want to just give you an idea of what happens here and just, like, play after play, just how the defense is looking, right? Okay, so here's the stream of plays. Not all consecutive, but this is just what I got in my notes. Play 1. Clifford, check down to Dillon, few yards. Jacobs, carry up the left side, model right gain. Clark, would-be sack. McDuffie, blew up toss to Jacobs. Valentine, pass breakup on Pratt. Anthony Johnson Jr., pick of Jacob Eason. Rainbow ball from Clifford, overthrow to Wicks, Evan Williams, INT. Nixon, multiple run stops, 2 in a row at least. Clifford, a nice out to Dobbs. Dobbs, though, he wasn't one of the starting 3 wide receivers today, but Dobbs had a few catches today. Nice movement skills, especially laterally displayed by Dobbs today. Watson did have a drop. Wicks, the reason, so I want to address this, the reason why I put Wicks on try again another day is because ultimately Wicks did not have a terrible day today. It's more like a 3-day culmination of Wicks has had like at least 1 drop a day. So like yesterday, Samori Toure, especially in the rain, Samori Toure couldn't hang on to a freaking thing, and it was obvious he was struggling. Today, it was like Watson had 1 not great drop, but Wicks has basically had 1 a day, if not 2. And it's kind of becoming this theme with Wicks, something that you hope once J-Love is back really kind of goes by the wayside there. And then also like just more plays I got here, Sapp INT against Pratt, Ellis Merriweather drop, nearly an INT from Pratt following the drop. Stokes INT and Clifford as Wicks couldn't handle the throw. Eason to Dimitri Stanley, nice gain. Eason nearly picked off by Sapp. Sapp got hurt, but Sapp did come back in, so know that about Benny Sapp. Sapp had a really strong day today, too. I got to say, Benny Sapp was one of the last ones to leave the field yesterday. Then today was the first one out there doing stretches. And after he does his stretches, he lets out to steal from Robin Williams. Like, he gets done stretching, and then he lets out a barbaric yarp and just goes about his business. It was cool to see him get a pick today. Let's see. Clifford, Dobbs slant. That was clean, is what I got in my notes. Pratt to Jalen Wayne. Wayne had a couple nice catches today from Pratt. Another clean one. Easton to Toure up the sideline. Toure, that was probably his best play of the day. And then also Grant Dubose had 2 catches today. Dubose is looking substantially smoother in year 2 than he ever did in year 1. So that's all my notes. Let's see what you guys got to say, and then I'm going to jump on out of here. Jagabi, what's up, Jagabi? Good afternoon. Love the look. Thank you. Did Anthony Johnson Jr. get some slot work? I didn't see him in the slot at all today. Looked like pretty traditional safety. Looked to be very much in the mix of Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, Johnson, and McKinney. Kind of like in the top 4, let's go with that, in their rotations. Didn't really see him go into the slot much. Did wind up with that interception, though, as I mentioned. Steve saying, who took number 1 snaps at QB today? Clifford. Clifford's been the only one doing quarterback 1 snaps through all 3 days. It's been very, very clear that maybe while Pratt is performing a little bit better than Clifford at this point, Pratt is still struggling. Clifford is monumentally struggling. Clifford still has been the only one. Kevin Kebbels, hope you and Claudia, hope that's all right. It is. Enjoy your presumed break day tomorrow, boss man. Thanks for hearing live for us. Of course, man. Been a lot of fun. And yes, tomorrow there is no practice, so of course no live. Friday, though, there is practice. I'll be doing a live after that one, of course. Eric saying Dobbs is a dog for sure. It was weird not to see him as like the first wide receiver out today with the 3. It was Reed, Wicks, and Watson. But Dobbs has been, I would say, through the 3 days, I would say Dobbs is probably the most consistent wide receiver of the whole collective. Bo Melton today, he got a couple end-arounds. Looked like a thing they were really trying to make work today was end-arounds with Melton. So, like, I wouldn't be shocked if that sticks as a thing. But, yeah, Dobbs has been consistent. Steve saying Samari couldn't catch a cold. It's been a struggle bus. We can say that for sure. Steven, it's all in the hips, footwork supreme. Not sure what that's referencing. Maybe Caleb King, but yeah. So Gabby, love me some Sapp. Sapp had a good day today, not going to lie. Drell, Bowman, just like I just mentioned, I don't want to say making plays. Like, there hasn't really been any highlight worthy. Keep in mind, the quarterbacks can't get the ball down the field to the receivers, like, much at all. But like I mentioned, there were the end-arounds. He did have one nice catch against the sideline that I recall. Nothing spectacular, but still. It worked. Ms. McGoat on the job watching. Hopefully no filler gets on the phone. And you know what? The iPad's not overheating anymore like it did on day 1 either. We're so good to go right now. Should Packers have love for love? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's... So with Love not practicing right now, okay, I understand that there's still angst out there about it. But the thing is, everyone understands. The players on the team, the front office, Jordan's representation, obviously. They all understand. If Jordan Love were to go out there on day 3 of training camp and, God forbid, tear his ACL, his compensation this year would be dramatically different than what he is on the precipice of signing. I mean, shreds of what it would be, right? And then there would also be the question from the Packers about how are you going to recover? So now we're going to take down your guarantees in years 2 through 4, right? The Packers understand for Jordan, it's the smartest business decision not to practice until that contract is in place. The relationship, though, between Love and the Packers does not seem to be frayed, strained, anything negative in any way, shape, or form. So I wouldn't be worried about that at all. It's just, it seems like everyone is making the very practical, smart decision to ensure that he can get the full allotment before getting out here and putting himself back at risk. So then Friday, we'll be talking about the Love contract being done. I hope so, man. I hope you. Peter, no doubt about Dobbs. Consistency, Mr. Consistency, Romeo Dobbs. And then Brandon the Ruiner. What a name, Brandon. Go Pack, go with Josh Jacobs. Jacobs has been looking spry, for sure, along with Dylan. Both of them. Jacobs seems like it's like one carry a day that Jacobs seems to kind of carry out of the mess and propel forward. So not a ton of running back work yet at all. It's very passing focused right now. But it's about one run a day that it really looks like Jacobs kind of pops off. Steven, thanks for input and sharing. Of course, Steven, that's why I'm here. And Jagabi saying, one last question. Any update on the tight ends? Any new plays drawn up? Anyone standing out? Well, keep in mind, Tucker Kraft still isn't there. Joel Wilson had a pretty bad drop yesterday. Granted, it was a monsoon. Musgrave had one catch today, and Musgrave stayed on his feet when he caught the ball. But he did make that catch along the sideline. That was a pass from Clifford. So that was really good to see, probably about a 10-yard gain on that one. Really, though, that's been the only real highlight about any tight end at all through 3 days. So, Brandon, Jordan Love better not act like Aaron Rodgers with money. I don't feel any concern about that whatsoever. Honestly, I really just, I don't. And plus two, I know the locker room always had Rodgers back and everything too. But have you seen all the quotes coming out from the current team about Jordan? How understanding they all are? How very much Jordan is their guy. They can't wait to have him back. They understand what's going on. Like, it's the tones of the quotes are different. I think it was Huber who put out an entire story about it. Maybe even Paul Brettel too. And that's the way it feels. And two, like, Jordan Love isn't somewhere else right now. He's not in California. He's not traveling the world. Jordan Love's here. In the monsoon yesterday, he stayed out there, got himself soaked, talking to everybody. Like today, he was out there involved. Basically, whenever Clifford threw an interception, you want to know who he was talking to next? It was Love and one of the coaches. Basically, every single time. So Love is very involved here. He's just not putting his physical body at risk until the money is decided. It's kind of hard to blame himself that way. Peter saying the way A-Rod justified himself about his unexcused absence, Jets OTAs remind me of the good old days. Hey, you know what? Perfect place to end it. I'll just say, Peter, remember, words have no meaning, right? That's what we got for a reason to miss OTAs. All right, everybody. I'm out of here. Do hope you all have a fantastic day. Remember, no practice tomorrow, which means no live tomorrow. However, there is a practice on Friday, which means you can bet I'm going to find some other construction-laden spot to talk to you fine folks about the Green Bay Packers after practice on Friday. Go have a fantastic day. Have a wonderful day off tomorrow, everybody. And as always, go Pack Go.